So, welcome hypnotists and NLP trainers. So, today we're going to be teaching you about external environment. So, you're getting to that stage now where you've worked with quite a few clients and you're feeling quite comfortable and relaxed and all that sort of stuff. So, now it's time to work on your clinic, how you're going to sell yourself, how you're going to present yourself into the future. So, let's work on some external environments and how the external can actually create an internal dialect that completely launch your product or destroy it. So, external environments are always to be considered as a contributing factor in your client's lack of ability to solve a problem. I will break down the external environment into three categories, okay? So, the client, you as a therapist, and your clinic or practice. So first things first, your client. Your client is coming to you to solve a problem on an unconscious level. This is easy enough to do with hypnosis tools that you've learned. However, what happens when the client returns to their natural environment? So your client will spend approximately 2 hours with you in a session. So that equates to 1.19% of the week. So during the other 98.81% of the week, their external environment will influence their decisions. This includes people, their lifestyle, their health track, and things like that. So this can turn and undo all of your wonderful work. Doing the unconscious mind is easy. They're the ones that have to do the conscious side. So part of working with your client is also working with the trigger for the issues. So for example, if your client has been with an abusive partner, how are you going to help your client? You can't hang out with them in their house 24/7. And this is what's known as where cognitive behavioral therapy comes into place. So with a well-constructed CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy, a client can create a plan of success for the external environment. So some CBTs are also well crafted with what's known as a ripple effect. So it ripples into other areas of the client's life for an even better outcome. So it's not so much just about them, it's also about their people in their lives and changing habits and being a mirror reflection of what they want to see in the world rather than repeating what they're doing. So after the session is completed, a CBT is given to the client to complete. So there are many different forms of CBT. So you've been doing CBTs your whole life, you haven't even known it. So maybe it's called a task, a goal, an action plan, habit breaking, safety nets, emergency contingencies. Maybe you've got a shopping list. That's known as a CBT because the shopping list has all this stuff that you must go and get. That's part of the criteria. So a CBT comes in many, many different forms. Some are big, some are small, some are mind-bending, and some are very, very simple. So this is where your client begins to break down the external environment negativity that has been creating an internal thought action that they don't want. So they take the external environment, they create an internal dialect, and that creates their structure of reality. Many therapists do not engage in CBTs, and then they wonder why their client says the therapy wore off, okay? This is where you start to hold your client accountable, where you will give them a CBT, and if they don't do it, this is what happens. So when I give my client a CBT, if they turn up and they haven't done it, I charge them for it. I have a 30-minute buffer in between my clients, and if the client hasn't done the CBT, then I charge them for it. It's as simple as that. So if you're doing multiple sessions with your client, a CBT can also give you information of what's happening around your client that your client hasn't told you about. So this is where your physiology observation skills come in, and you can probe for more information. You can check out the writing. Is it scrummy? Did it get scrummier as they go along? What was happening at that time? What are they writing on that CBT or doing? What excuses are coming out? So you know what's going on in that external environment, that they've created the internal dialect. So maybe you've got some limiting beliefs there or something like that that you need to help your client shift with. It can give you so much more information than what your client is just telling you in the room. So you as a therapist, okay? Now you as a therapist are resonating an energy that your client is picking up on a subconscious level, so on the unconscious level. When you decide to become a therapist, understand that you are also part of the client's external environment. How they internally dialect you is their structure of reality. They might meet you and go, no, I don't like you, so therefore you're just labeled as someone they don't like. So they've taken that external environment and created an internal dialect. Or maybe they'll meet you and they'll love you and they'll apply themselves to everything that they're ever going to do. So here are some tips in representing a great external environment so your client can relax knowing that they have made the right choice in picking you as their hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner. So one, choose your style, okay? Brand yourself and be true with it. One thing I really, really promote is you're working in a service, so promote your name. Be your product, brand yourself, okay? Sure, we've got some really great hypnosis techniques out there and blah, 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 but at the end of the day, just promote yourself. You are your service. You don't come across a surgeon that turns around and is like, hey, I am Surgic Magic or something like that. They just brand their own names as Dr. Blah. That's what they do. So choose your style, brand yourself, and be true with it, okay? Live it, work it, breathe it. Practice hypnosis yourself. Become that somnambulist, okay? Work it, breathe it, practice it, practice it, practice it. It's all practice. It's as simple as that. Every time you're working with a client, even though you might know 100% of the information, it's still practice to keep that 100% of the information available. You are the authority figure, okay? So step up for your reputation. If your client needs to come back, then tell them to come back. You are the authority figure and they've come to you because they need some advice. They need someone to guide them. They've run out of resources and they want someone to hold them accountable. So do that. Social media is also a reflection. Keep your shit off social media. It's as simple as that. If you're going through some issues yourself, maybe you're going through a divorce or you've got somebody who's hassling you or something like that, keep your shit off social media. Write it in a diary. Go and see a hypnotherapist. There are heaps of people in this community that would probably want to swap a session. So keep your social media off. Keep your shit off social media because it is a reflection. And at the end of the day, you'll be amazed who is actually watching, okay? Go and get some help. People are watching and they're always picking up on your energy, okay? So make sure that you have the right energy for that client at that time. Be humble yet proud, okay? Don't go all toffee and like, oh yeah, I do this, and don't be so shy that you don't want to promote yourself, okay? Be humble and proud. I am Trish Palmer. I'm the creator of the IBS Hypnosis Certification in Australia. I'm very humbled by that and very proud of it, but I'm not going to push it in people's faces. Be true and be honest. If you don't know something, just say to the client, look, that's out of my scope of my training. Maybe I could find you somebody else. Or just say to them, I don't know anything about that. Please educate me. Tell me some more. You can't have 100% of 100% information, but you can have 100% of 1% of the information and be bloody good at it. Now, when it comes to your clinic is an extension of you as a therapist. It's usually the first creator of prestige. A clinic represents clearly how you can amplify positive and negative external environments. I've been to a hypnotherapist that had a shitty chair from Kmart that was like a camp folding out one and thought it was fabulous. And I was like, no, I'm not paying these prices for that. So automatically my rapport with that person, and as I looked at their prestige, I sort of went, oh, you're cheap. I wonder what your training's like. And I was gone. I was out of there. It didn't matter whether they were charging $10, $150, whatever it is. If I'm going into an environment and it doesn't make me feel safe, secure, relaxed, and positive, I'm not doing it. So here are some tips. Again, choose your style, brand yourself, and be true to it, okay? In my clinic, I'm very nature-based. I'm very down-to-earth, very zen. So I have, lots of ferns and tiny little fairy lights and things like that. I love that whole wood feel and nature feel. Whatever it is that you're going for, then go for it. A lot of places are going for a particular style these days. So find your style and go for it. The environment has more than just a visual appeal as well. So does your clinic smell okay? Does it feel okay? What are the textures like in your chair and stuff like that? Is the temperature okay? You don't want your client to be sitting there freezing and shaking inside hypnosis because they don't want to say anything. Okay, make sure that it's nice and warm and it's cozy and the lighting is beautiful and things like that as well. So the external environment is not just visual, it's all your other senses as well. Bring them into account. Your quality is represented in your style. So when it comes to my students, I recommend that they do certain things so that way they can represent a level of quality. I have actually gone to those courses where they've given me a piece of paper with some jargon written on it, And I'm just like, you're kidding me. This is the PDF. Like, you couldn't put a picture on it or something. It may sound a bit judgmental, but at the end of the day, we're looking for quality. That's what it is. Become that quality therapist. And if you're struggling with graphics or designs or anything like that, then ask people to help you. That's what we're all here to do. The whole lot matters. The entrance, the toilet, the waiting area where people park their car. If you're working from home, mow your lawns, okay? Sweep out that alleyway. Make sure the toilet's clean. I actually went to a massage therapist once and she had this really, really nice room. And I said to her, oh, can I just dash to your loo if that's okay? And this before I even, I was in the room and before I'd even laid on the table. And she's like, yeah. So I dashed to the toilet. Oh my gosh, it was horrid. It was so disgusting. I honestly, I think it was just blech. And anyway, I come back into the room, and as I laid down on the towel, because that had amplified my ew towards it, as I laid down the towel, I kind of felt it with my hands, and I thought, when was the last time this towel was washed? This is so gross. So in the end, I actually said to her, I do apologize. I said, I'm going to give you half the money now. That's because I feel like the towels weren't very clean, and the toilet could use a little bit of a spruce mousse as such, because I'm not going to pay her top dollar notch price when she's not giving top dollar notch service, okay? So make sure your quality is very high, your toilet, your entrance, your waiting area, the whole lot, okay? You will only receive the clients that you are projecting to attract. It's amazing the amount of clients I get that come into my room. They're like, wow, your room is fabulous, Trish. Absolutely, it's fabulous. I worked hard for it. I designed it, and I'm attracting all of those kind of clients. I even had one lady come in for a free consult, and she's like, I was told to come in here and check out your lights. Apparently, they're beautiful. And as she looked up, she's like, wow. She goes, they're fabulous, aren't they? And I'm like, I like them too. Adjust everything. This is an experience that you will be uniquely known for, okay? So if you have a clinical style, then have a clinical styled room. If you're into, say, oceans and things like that, then have an ocean styled room, okay? Adjust absolutely everything and make sure that the experience is unique, because that's what you'll be known for. Be humble, yet proud again, okay? Be proud of your space. You absolutely deserve to have a beautiful, beautiful space and a beautiful clinic. Now, your client is looking to employ you to help you with a problem, so make it an enjoyable experience. Sure, the clinic, blah, blah, blah. Sure, it's a clinic, but it's not like your client is sick. You know what I mean? Your client is in a horrible mindset, so blow their expectations. I have very nice pens and paperwork. All of those little things absolutely matter. So the way your client speaks, dresses, also reflects the environment they hold themselves in. So you can gain valuable information from this. So you can help your client understand how the environment that they are living and working in can affect the internal dialect and their thoughts. So I had one client that she used to come in as soon as she had gotten out of bed. She hadn't, like, she'd come in her Ugg boots and her dressing gown and her hair was all fluffy. And she was a hairdresser. And I said to her one day, I said, how about we up your standards just a little bit each time you come here, so therefore you can feel better about yourself. And now she's actually getting dressed and she's showering and she's like, yeah, she goes, I had dropped my standards a bit, and no wonder I was feeling crap about myself. So look at the way your clients dress, the way they're speaking, the way they're doing their hair and they're holding themselves, because that can help you with their external environment and how they're processing that internally. Sometimes it can just represent that they're just tired. So if your client's environment is low quality, do not be afraid to do a session with them about raising their standards and their self-worth, okay? Do the should versus much procedure that's available in our modern mentoring, so that way they can up their standards and know what their standards are, because a lot of people don't even know what their standards are. So give your client what they need. Sure, they may want to quit smoking, but they also may need some more support than that. So each client is an individual. So look at your external environment. You will be amazed how simply creating a higher standard for yourself can ward off depression and anxiety, even in yourself. And the same amplifies to your client's world. I walk into my room and I'm like, this is the place of healing and relaxation. It's really wonderful. Honestly, it happens everywhere these days. So pubs have cleaned up their acts and they're creating themed bars, okay? Dentists are creating more relaxed clinics with colors, and markets and store holders are using their external environment to create displays to sell products in a better way. You are the same in your clinic, okay? So not only because, you're a person with someone else's external environment, but you deserve a high quality clinic. So go out there and do that. Start off with, some things that are just kind of nice, and then aim for something bigger and change it up and grow as you develop more and more and more. So please join me in the next video. I'm going to teach you how to introduce yourself. This may sound like something really simple, but it's amazing the amount of people that have a great product or a great service or something like that. But then when it comes to them talking about themselves or selling themselves in conversation, it just completely dies. So I'm going to teach you how to do that introduction. So right from the get-go, when somebody talks to you, they could be a potential client. And it's basically selling without being all salesy as such. So join me in the next video. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and tap on the bell so that way you can always receive notifications of when we're uploading new information. So otherwise from that, have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye. Mwah.